Well, this is my testing of these two systems, or my little lighting setup here. This is a little outside of my own comfort zone. I'm not going to lie. This is not something I'm used to doing. I'm kind of looking for some feedback. So what I've got set up here, I got my two cameras, A7S III, FX3, both very similar cameras, and they're both they're not shooting at the same settings right now. Actually, I don't have an ND filter that goes from 1 to 5 for both of them. I have it on this guy right here, but I didn't have one for the FX3. And so I've got the FX3 stepped down quite a bit on an ND from 6 to 9, and it's sitting at the 6, and this one's sitting at the 9. Here we've got ISO 640, the base ISO for the A7S III. The base ISO for this is 800, and I couldn't get anything that was usable. Even at ISO 5000 right now, I've got, like, I can see that I'm exposed. I'm like -3. I might change that and go back and look at that later. But I can tell that, like, I think I like this setup. I'll have to go back and watch it to really see what I think of it. But I'm curious to know what, if you're a videographer out there and you're watching this, I'd love some tips. This is gonna be my setup for my short film that I'm gonna be filming of myself, obviously talking about my experience. So I wanna make sure I get this right before I go and shoot this. Okay, so my lighting setup, I've got this light here, just a LED light with a softbox, a kind of a cheap softbox. That one is set at, I think that one's 3,900 Kelvin. So that's my more warmer light. It's only set at like 10, 11%. And then this one over here, I have this guy set up at, so 5,600 at 100%. Okay, that's my primary light, or my key light. Again, I'm not like super up on my terms, but I'm trying to get better at this. And the reason I went with this setup was I wanted to mimic where the actual primary source of light is coming from, but I didn't want to use all of that light. I just use some of it. And so I put a light in that exact spot as my key light. And then this is kind of my fill light on this side. And then as my backup light, as you can see behind me, not backup or whatever, my, whatever that's called, the one behind you. I just decided to turn on the one light behind me, and then I've got the window light, which kind of fills that in. Yeah, I'll have to go and watch this and see what I think. But the other thing I don't have yet, and I do want to set that up probably when I do this full bloom, is I'm going to set up an overhead rig system so I can put a little light on there. And I also might use that for my shotgun microphone. So there's my setup right now for the shotgun mic. It's just standing on a tripod that's zip tied. But I do have the boom pole, and that is connected to my monitor there. I can see myself obviously in the monitor, so I know what I see what the camera sees. And I got a little tiny monitor for the FX3. So yeah, my thoughts are this: if you're watching this, you're a videographer, and you are, either professional or, even if you're not a professional and you're watching this and like, yeah, I like this, I don't like this. Give me some feedback. I want to know what to do to change this, to maybe improve this, because so far so good. Like I look at it and I think it looks pretty good, but I'm not, that experienced in this stuff. I've only been doing this for about 4 years professionally, and I want to get better. So I'd love the feedback. Okay.